What if everything in your life came down to one single choice, not the hundreds of things you're juggling, not the chaos, the noise, the expectations, or even your past? Just one choice, one decision that quietly defines who you are and who you'll become. Most people never stop to think about it. They rush through their days, reacting instead of choosing, surviving instead of living. And in that blur of obligations and routines, they forget something powerful. They still have control. Even when life feels like it's spiraling. Even when everything feels unfair. Even when the odds feel stacked against them. The truth is, you always have a choice, and that's exactly where your power begins. But it's easier to believe otherwise, isn't it? It's easier to say I can't than to whisper, I choose. Because the moment you realize you can choose, you also realize something far more terrifying. Your life is a reflection of the choices you've made so far. That's a hard pill to swallow. No one wants to admit they've been holding themselves back. No one wants to see that the person in the mirror, not their past, not the world, not their circumstances, has been the one keeping them small. But here's the raw truth. Freedom begins where blame ends. The moment you stop pointing fingers, the moment you take full ownership, that's the moment your life starts to shift. Not in a week, not in a year, now. And that's why you're here. Somewhere deep inside, something is stirring. A voice that's tired of settling, tired of waiting, tired of pretending to be fine while quietly breaking inside. You're not watching this by accident. You're here because something in you is ready to wake up. Something in you knows there is more to your story than this chapter, but it won't be handed to you. Life doesn't change because you want it to. It changes because you decide. Because you finally get to the point where staying the same hurts more than facing the unknown. That's the moment everything starts to move, and it all begins with one choice, to stop running and to start rising. That's where the real power lies, not in waiting for someone to rescue you, not in hoping the timing will be perfect, but in realizing that you are the answer. You are the solution. You are the only one who can stand up, take the wheel, and change direction, no matter how far off course you've gone. This isn't about pretending it's easy. It's not. It's about waking up to the fact that no one's coming to save you, but also, no one can stop you. Your choices have more weight than you think. One decision to fight for your health, to cut off what's draining you, to finally believe in your worth, can cause a ripple that changes your entire life. And yes, you'll be afraid, of course you will. But fear doesn't mean you're not ready. It just means you're on the edge of something that matters. The ones who rise, who evolve, who break through, they feel that same fear. The only difference? They choose anyway. So ask yourself, what kind of life are you building one decision at a time? Are you choosing growth or comfort? Are you choosing peace or more chaos disguised as normal? Are you choosing to stay hidden or to finally be seen? You don't need all the answers. You just need the courage to choose something better, right here, right now. Because at the end of the day, everything you're chasing, the peace, the confidence, the clarity, the success, the freedom, it all starts with that one quiet moment when you say, I choose. I choose to take control. I choose to rise. I choose to believe this isn't the end of me. And if you stick with this, if you allow that truth to settle deep into your bones, everything can start to shift. Maybe not overnight, but moment by moment, choice by choice. You're not broken. You're just one decision away from a different path. The choice is yours, and that choice can change everything. Most people underestimate just how much power they have in a single moment. They think change needs to be some massive, earth-shattering event, that they need more time, more money, more motivation, more support. But the truth is, it starts with one choice and then another. It's not the loud decisions that shape your life, it's the quiet ones. The ones no one sees, the ones you make when you're tired, discouraged, and no one is watching. It's the choice to get back up after you've been knocked down. The choice to keep moving when your heart is heavy. The choice to speak up when your voice shakes. It's the choice to believe there's still something inside you worth fighting for, even when the world doesn't see it yet. And that's where everything starts to shift. You see, one decision can change the direction of your life, not because it fixes everything instantly, but because it sets something in motion. It draws a line in the sand. It says, I refuse to be who I was yesterday. That's not just change. That's transformation. That's taking your power back from everything that ever tried to break you. But here's the part no one tells you. That kind of decision demands courage. Real courage. Not the kind that shows off, but the kind that stands alone. The kind that breaks habits, rewrites patterns, and refuses to settle for anything less than truth. Because let's be honest, staying the same is easy. Choosing growth is hard. It means confronting your own excuses. It means facing your fears without running from them. It means doing the work without needing applause. And it means letting go of the belief that you're powerless. You're not. You've just been convinced that you are. Maybe people told you your dreams were unrealistic. Maybe life handed you disappointment after disappointment until you started shrinking to avoid the pain. Maybe you built walls just to survive, and now those same walls are keeping you from living. But you're not here to survive anymore. You're here to rise. And rising doesn't mean you'll never fall again. It means you stop letting the falls define you. It means you look your past in the face and say, you do not own me anymore. It means you stop waiting for clarity and start creating it, one decision at a time. So what if today is the day you choose something different? What if today you stop handing your power to fear and start reclaiming it? What if instead of asking, what if I fail, you ask, what if this works? Because most people never live the life they want, not because they weren't capable, but because they kept choosing comfort over change, familiar pain over unknown growth, the illusion of safety over the freedom of truth. But if you're still breathing, you still have time. You still have choice. You still have something inside you that the world hasn't seen yet. Something stronger, deeper, and more powerful than every fear that's tried to silence it. And yes, it might be hard. Yes, it might hurt. But what's worse, the pain of change? Or the pain of staying stuck in a life that doesn't reflect who you really are? There comes a moment when you have to look at yourself, really look, and decide if you're going to keep repeating the same patterns, or if you're finally going to break them. You don't need permission to change your life. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everyone to understand your journey. You just need a reason that's stronger than your excuses, a reason that reminds you you are not done yet. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not next year, right now, to decide, to choose, to rise, to draw a line in the sand and say, I may not be there yet, but I refuse to stay where I've been, because that's how change happens, not all at once, not overnight, but one powerful defiant choice at a time. And if you keep showing up even when it's hard, if you keep choosing to believe there's more for you, then step by step, your life will rise to meet that belief. The question isn't can you change, it's will you choose to. The greatest lie you've ever been told is that you're stuck, that where you are now is where you'll always be, that your past defines your future, that the pain you've lived through is too heavy to escape. But let me tell you something, you are not stuck, you're not broken, you're not finished. What you are is capable of more than you've ever been told. What traps most people isn't the situation, it's the belief that they can't get out of it. It's the mental chains, the quiet whispers that say, this is just how life is. But that voice is lying. It's lying to keep you small, to keep you quiet, to keep you tolerating things that deep down you know are destroying you. And you've done that long enough. You've played it safe, you've gone through the motions. You've kept the peace, dimmed your light, followed the rules. You've silenced your fire just to fit into spaces that were never made for you. But how long will you keep betraying yourself just to make others comfortable? There comes a time when you have to stop surviving in a cage and start building a life that reflects your worth. That time is now. You're not stuck. You've just been conditioned to believe you are. You've been taught to play small. You've been trained to doubt yourself. And somewhere along the way you forgot the truth. You can walk away from anything that no longer serves you. It won't be easy. Change never is. But neither is staying where you are. Staying numb, stuck in cycles of regret and routine, pretending everything is okay while your spirit quietly fades. That's not life. That's a slow death. And deep down, you know it. You weren't created to live on repeat. You weren't built for mediocrity. There's something inside you that's been waiting to be unlocked. Not through luck, not through rescue, but through choice. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to believe that something better is possible. And then start acting like it. Stop asking for permission to grow. Stop waiting for a sign. You are the sign. The door has always been open. You just forgot how to walk through it. Maybe people told you who you were supposed to be. Maybe life knocked you down so many times you started to believe that's all there is. But belief can be rebuilt, and identity can be reclaimed. You're not the product of your wounds. You are the proof that survival was never the end goal. Thriving is. You are allowed to walk away from who you've been. You're allowed to outgrow people, places, and patterns. You're allowed to evolve, to change your mind, to change your life. You're allowed to say, this isn't good enough for me anymore. That's not weakness, that's power. And yes, fear will come. Fear always shows up when you're on the edge of growth. But fear isn't a stop sign. It's a signal. It means you're stepping outside your old limitations. It means you're moving towards something that matters. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to move forward anyway. Every breakthrough starts with a breakdown of what's no longer true. Every transformation begins with the courage to say, I will not stay here. So what would happen if you stopped believing the lie? If you stopped settling for scraps of peace, tiny moments of joy, brief flashes of meaning, and decided to demand more from life? You are not stuck. You are standing in a doorway, holding the key. But no one else is going to turn it for you. No one is coming to choose for you. That's your power. And it's also your responsibility, because once you realize you're not stuck, there are no more excuses, only decisions. And decisions are where new lives begin. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a prisoner of your past is the moment your future begins to breathe. You've carried the weight long enough. The regrets, the failures, the voices that told you you weren't enough. You've worn them like armor, thinking they would protect you. But all they've done is hold you back. You weren't meant to carry that kind of pain forever. You weren't built to live your life chained to who you used to be. Every time you doubt yourself, remember this. The version of you that made it through the storm wasn't weak. They were a fighter. And now it's time to honor that fighter, not by staying stuck in survival mode, but by choosing to live fully. There's a fire in you. Even if right now it feels small, even if life has tried to drown it out, it's still burning, and it's waiting for one thing, permission, not from the world, not from anyone else, from you. You keep waiting for the right moment, the perfect timing, the green light. But what if that moment never comes? What if the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is your decision to move anyway? Stop postponing your breakthrough because fear told you it's not time. It's time when you say it's time. Growth doesn't ask if you're ready. It demands that you show up before you feel prepared. You rise first. The clarity, the confidence, the momentum, they follow you, not the other way around. And yes, growth is uncomfortable, but so is staying stuck in a life that doesn't reflect who you are becoming. You can either suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One leads to expansion. The other leaves you quietly wondering what could have been. You're not here to stay hidden. You're not here to keep shrinking so others feel more comfortable. You're not here to repeat the same day, the same year, the same mindset, while calling it a life. You are here to rise, to break cycles, to step into your truth, to become the version of you that's been buried under fear, guilt, and silence. You don't owe the world your silence. You owe yourself your full expression. The dream that scares you, the vision that keeps you up at night, the part of you that still believes. It's not delusion, it's direction. It's truth trying to pull you forward, but you have to stop resisting it. You have to stop waiting for the pain to be completely gone before you move. Healing and progress happen together. They are not separate. You don't get to be perfectly healed before you build the life you want. You build while healing. You rise while breaking. You are strong enough for both. Every great transformation is built on one quiet decision. I will not go back to who I was. You may still feel the fear. You may still carry some doubt. But that doesn't disqualify you. It means you're human. What matters is what you do in spite of it. Every time you choose to show up when it's hard, to believe when it's easier to quit, to move when it would be easier to stay still, you are rewiring your life from the inside out. This is the path most people never take, not because they couldn't, but because they wouldn't. They chose comfort over growth, numbness over meaning, familiar misery over unfamiliar freedom. But you are not most people. You are here, right now, because something in you refuses to settle. Something in you still believes in what's possible. And that belief, even if it's just a flicker, is enough to start the fire again. So don't wait. Don't wait to feel fearless. Don't wait to be perfect. Don't wait for certainty. Just choose. Choose to rise while your knees shake. Choose to speak even when your voice cracks. Choose to live before life passes you by. Because you're not here to repeat the past, you are here to reclaim your power. And no matter how dark it's been, no matter how heavy the journey has felt, you still have a choice to keep going, to dig deeper, to become everything you were meant to be. And that choice, it's yours, right now. You are not the pain that tried to define you. You are not the voice in your head that says you're too late, too broken, too far gone. Those thoughts are not truth. They are echoes of fear. And fear is loudest right before everything changes. You've already been through darkness, you've already endured things you thought would break you, but you didn't break. You adapted, you adjusted. You learned how to breathe through the storm, and even if no one else noticed, even if no one ever applauded your survival, you know what it took to keep going. So now the question is, what will you do with that strength? Because surviving was never the finish line, it was the training ground. Every struggle, every silent battle, every sleepless night, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were being sharpened, shaped, and tested for something greater than you could see at the time. You're not meant to just carry the weight, you're meant to turn it into power. Every scar holds a lesson. Every mistake carries a message. Not one moment of your journey has been wasted. It all brought you here, to this exact point, to this chance to rise, not in spite of what you've been through, but because of it. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience. From resilience, from fire. The world wants you to believe that you have to be perfect to begin, that you need more time, more resources, more validation. But all you truly need is one thing, a decision to no longer settle for less than you're capable of becoming. That moment, that internal shift is more powerful than anything outside of you. It doesn't need noise, it doesn't need attention. It needs courage. Quiet, unshakable, relentless courage. And courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it sounds like a whisper. I'll try again. Sometimes it looks like getting up when you still feel tired, moving forward when your heart is still healing, showing up when it would be easier to hide. Don't let the world tell you your progress is too slow. Don't let comparison poison your purpose. Everyone has their own mountain. Everyone is carrying something you can't see. So stop measuring your worth by someone else's journey. Your breakthrough isn't late. It's being built with every small act of discipline, every refusal to quit, every moment you say yes to growth, even when it hurts. This is the quiet path to greatness. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg for attention. It's made in the shadows. When you keep going without applause. When you stay faithful to your vision, even when the results haven't shown up yet. When you understand that the dream is real even before anyone else sees it. That's the mark of someone who's already becoming. And yes, it takes work. Yes, it takes sacrifice. But what's the alternative? Living a life that doesn't belong to you? Pretending you're satisfied while slowly watching your fire burn out? Comfort may feel safe, but it comes at a cost. Your growth, your joy, your truth. There is no version of your future worth having that doesn't require you to step into discomfort now. There is no destiny that unfolds without deliberate action, and there is no freedom without discipline. So remind yourself who you are when you forget. Speak life over yourself when no one else does, because the most powerful thing you'll ever do is choose yourself, again and again, especially when it's hard. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need all the answers. You just need to move, or to act like you believe in the life you say you want. Let your actions rise louder than your fears. Let your consistency break through your doubts. Let your hunger lead even when the path is unclear. This is your becoming. It doesn't happen all at once. But every step matters. Every choice builds. Every moment counts. So stand tall, even if your legs shake. Speak your truth, even if your voice trembles. Keep walking, even if you can't yet see the destination. Because what's waiting for you isn't a fantasy. It's the result of who you become when you stop waiting and start becoming. You already know what needs to change. It's not a mystery. It's not a lack of clarity. Deep down, you feel it. The pull. The tension between the life you're living and the life you're meant for. You feel it in the quiet moments, when no one's around and the mask drops. That restless voice that whispers, there's more. You've tried to silence it, to distract yourself, to tell yourself this is just how things are. But that voice doesn't go away because it's the truth. And the truth doesn't disappear just because it's uncomfortable. It stays, it waits, and it keeps showing up until you finally answer it. No more running, no more pretending. You were not made to settle. You were made to step up. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost you your comfort, your excuses, your attachment to playing it safe. It will ask you to let go of old versions of yourself that once felt necessary. The version that always says yes to everyone else, while silently saying no to yourself. The version that hides your voice, hides your dreams, hides your fire so no one feels threatened by your light. But keeping yourself small doesn't serve anyone. You don't inspire the world by shrinking. You inspire it by rising. And this is your moment to rise. It starts by reclaiming your power from every place you gave it away. from every moment you believed you weren't good enough, from every time you let fear decide your next step. Take it back, all of it. Because the truth is, you were never powerless. You were simply disconnected from your worth, from your potential, from the boldness buried under years of hesitation. But it's still there. It never left. And now, it's time to bring it back to life. You don't need anyone to validate your vision. You don't need to wait for applause to take action. The dream was given to you for a reason. The calling was planted in your heart because you have what it takes to bring it to life. But you have to stop second-guessing yourself, or stop negotiating with your purpose. Stop talking yourself out of the very thing that sets your soul on fire. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be committed, because commitment will take you places motivation can't. There will be days when the fire feels dim, when everything feels heavy. That's when commitment matters most. That's when your why has to be louder than your doubts. This isn't about being the most talented or the most confident. It's about being relentless, being disciplined, being willing to show up for yourself over and over again, no matter what tries to stop you. Because something will always try. There will always be resistance. Life will test you. Circumstances will stretch you. But don't let that discourage you. Let it strengthen you. Let it be proof that you're on the edge of something real. You don't grow by staying where it's easy. You grow by stepping into the fire, knowing it's shaping you, not destroying you. The people who create extraordinary lives are not exempt from fear. They've just learned how to move through it. They've stopped asking for the path to be smooth and started asking for the strength to keep climbing. That strength, it's already inside you, waiting. And the moment you stop questioning whether you have it, is the moment you'll begin to feel it rise. There is no perfect time, no perfect moment. There is only now. And now is screaming for you to choose yourself. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to start again. Stronger, wiser, and more aligned than ever before. This is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where everything shifts, where you finally draw the line, where you look at your life and say, no more waiting, no more hiding, no more playing small. It's time to become who you were always meant to be, not someday, not when you feel ready, now, because the choice has always been yours. You are the answer you've been searching for. Not another book, not another plan, not another person telling you what you should do. You, the version of you that exists when everything else falls away. The one who still dreams, the one who still believes, the one who even after everything still shows up. That part of you isn't weak, it's the strongest part, because it refuses to quit. So stop abandoning yourself every time it gets hard. Stop putting your power in the hands of fear. Every time you say, I can't, you give fear permission to lead, and fear will always lead you back to the same place, stuck, small, silent. But you are not here to live on repeat. You are here to rise, evolve, and expand beyond anything you once believed possible. That begins the moment you decide to stop waiting for something outside of you to change, and start becoming the change yourself. It's not easy. It's not meant to be. That's why so few do it, because transformation requires honesty, and honesty is uncomfortable. It forces you to confront the excuses you've used as shelter. It demands that you take responsibility for the life you've created, without blame, without shame, without escape. But within that honesty is your freedom. Because once you take ownership, you take back control. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. You stop looking for permission and start creating your own path. You stop settling for survival and start claiming your right to thrive. You were not put here just to exist. You were meant to impact. And your impact doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity, from doing the work, from refusing to live a watered-down version of your potential. Every day you wake up is a second chance, a new opportunity to align your actions with your vision. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take the next right step, and then another, and another. Small steps create massive change when taken with intention. So ask yourself honestly, what am I avoiding? What truth am I afraid to face? What would my life look like if I stopped hiding behind distractions and started owning my power? Because the real reason we stay stuck isn't because we're incapable. It's because we've gotten comfortable avoiding what scares us. But nothing great is built in comfort zones. The life you crave is on the other side of what you've been avoiding. And it's not as far away as it seems. It starts with a single act of courage, a single moment of saying, no more wasting time on things that drain you. No more shrinking for the sake of others. No more pretending to be fine when your soul is screaming for change. It's okay to outgrow the old version of you. In fact, it's necessary. The next level of your life will demand a stronger, bolder, more focused version of you, and that version won't emerge unless you let go of who you used to be. That's not failure. That's evolution. Let it happen. Let yourself break the rules you created when you were afraid. Let yourself release the identity that was built around survival. You're not surviving anymore. You're building, you're creating, you're becoming. You have no obligation to remain who you were, especially if it's keeping you from who you can be. This is not about chasing some distant dream. It's about choosing alignment. It's about coming back to yourself, fully and unapologetically, and saying, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is the life I'm creating. And when you live from that place, your energy changes, your actions shift, your results follow. That's the truth most people never realize. You don't need to do more to become more. You need to be more present, more disciplined, more aligned with your truth. When you become that version of yourself, the one who is honest, committed, and courageous, everything else begins to move. And even if the results take time, even if the process feels messy, even if no one sees the work you're putting in behind the scenes, keep going, because greatness isn't loud. It's consistent. Your life doesn't change when someone saves you. It changes when you decide you're worth saving. And you are. So show up for yourself like never before. Not tomorrow, not later, now. This is your life. This is your moment. And the choice is still yours. You were not born to blend in. You were not created to live a life dictated by fear, judgment, or limitation. That fire inside you, that pull towards something greater, is not an illusion. It's a calling. And the more you ignore it, the louder it becomes. That ache in your chest when you know you're capable of more but still choose less, that's your soul trying to wake you up. The world will try to convince you to stay silent, stay small, stay safe. But safety is not the same as peace. Comfort is not the same as fulfillment. And playing it safe never leads to a life that sets your heart on fire. You weren't made to simply exist. You were made to live, fully, freely, unapologetically. That kind of life doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. And not just once, but every single day. You must choose to believe in yourself even when no one else does. You must choose to rise even when it hurts. You must choose to keep showing up, especially on the days when it feels like nothing is working. Those are the days that shape you. Those are the moments when you either break down or break through, when you either listen to the fear or lean into your truth. And your truth is this: you are stronger than you think, more capable than you know, and closer than you realize. But potential means nothing without action. Dreams die in the hands of hesitation. Vision fades when it's not backed by discipline. You can't keep waiting for the perfect moment. You have to create it. Every second you spend doubting yourself is a second you could be building something extraordinary. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel worthy. Worthiness isn't something you earn. It's something you decide. And the moment you decide you're worthy of a better life, a better mindset, a better future, is the moment everything begins to change. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. And that's not a reason to feel discouraged. That's the most powerful truth you could ever embrace. Because it means you don't have to wait. It means you have the power to choose right now how this story ends. So choose strength, even when fear whispers that you're not enough. Choose growth, even when it's uncomfortable. Choose faith, even when the path ahead is unclear. The more you choose from a place of courage, the more your life begins to align with who you really are. This is the difference between staying stuck and starting over, between being a victim of your circumstances and becoming the author of your future. Your circumstances don't define you, your decisions do. And one powerful decision can rewrite everything. Let go of the need for permission. Let go of the need for guarantees. There will be risk. There will be failure. But failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the path to it. Every setback, every misstep, every obstacle is shaping you into the person you need to become to handle the success that's coming. And it is coming if you stay in the fight. Keep pushing. Keep showing up. Not for applause, not for validation, but for you. For the person you're becoming. For the life you're building. For the legacy you're creating. Because the real reward isn't just the goal. It's who you become in the process. It's the grit, the resilience, the strength that can't be shaken. That's what lasts. That's what matters. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need all the answers. You need heart. You need fire. You need that unbreakable decision that says, no matter what happens, I will not give up on myself. When you make that decision, the universe responds, doors open, opportunities appear, and most importantly, you begin to see yourself clearly, not as someone who's lacking, but as someone who's rising. So rise. Not because it's easy, not because you're certain, but because you deserve to see what's possible when you give yourself fully to your purpose. This is your time. This is your turn. The life you want is not a fantasy. It's a decision, one you get to make again and again, until the life in your mind becomes the life in your hands. And it all begins the moment you stop asking, what if it goes wrong? And start asking, what if this is the moment everything changes? The choice is still yours. And now, you know what you're capable of. There is nothing more powerful than a mind made up. When you decide, truly decide, that you are no longer available for anything less than what sets your soul on fire, everything around you begins to shift. You stop chasing things that were never meant for you. You stop negotiating with your potential. You stop watering down your voice just to make others comfortable. That kind of decision doesn't whisper. It roars. It declares to the world, I know who I am, and I will not settle. The world doesn't need more people playing it safe. It needs people who are brave enough to choose themselves, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's lonely, even when it hurts. Because choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. It's saying, I matter, my dreams matter, my peace matters. And the moment you begin to walk in that truth, you become unstoppable. Most people never experience the life they're capable of because they're too busy trying to avoid discomfort. But the very thing you're running from is the very thing that's trying to grow you. Pain is not punishment, it's the process. It's how you stretch. It's how you strengthen. It's how you shed the version of you that was never built to carry your future. Growth demands that you leave something behind. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's doubt, sometimes it's people. But every elevation requires separation. And if you want to rise, you must be willing to let go of what's been keeping you low. That includes the version of you that settles, the version of you that tolerates, the version of you that constantly doubts your worth. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the labels people have placed on you. You are potential, waiting to be unleashed. You are power, waiting to be activated. You are purpose, waiting to be lived. But purpose doesn't knock. It doesn't wait patiently for you to feel ready. It demands that you rise, that you face the mirror and say, no more hiding, no more delaying, no more pretending. Because pretending to be okay when you're not is exhausting. Pretending to be small when your soul is meant for greatness is suffocating. The truth is, you've always known there's more in you. You've always felt the pull. You've just been waiting for someone to give you permission. Here it is, permission granted. You don't need to shrink to fit into places you've outgrown. You don't need to explain yourself to people who refuse to see your worth. You don't need to keep dimming your light so others won't feel insecure. Your light was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to guide, to lead, to awaken something powerful in those who see you and say, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That is how you change the world, not by being perfect, but by being real, by showing up raw, messy, uncertain, and still moving forward. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in spite of it. It's waking up every day and deciding, I will not let fear write my story. You have a choice right now, in this moment, to rise above the noise, to silence the voice in your head that says you're not ready, you're not enough, you'll never make it. That voice is not your truth, it's your test, and every time you push past it, you reclaim your power. Progress is not about speed, it's about direction. Keep moving, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if you feel like you're barely holding it together. Because what you're building isn't just a life, it's a legacy. One decision, one habit, one belief at a time. You don't get to see the full picture yet, but that doesn't mean it's not coming together. Trust the process. Trust your instincts. Trust that the work you're doing, the sacrifices you're making, the healing you're choosing, they are all leading somewhere. They're somewhere greater than anything you've known before, but you have to keep going, even when it's hard, even when it's silent, even when nothing around you looks like progress. That's where most people quit. But you're not most people. You've come too far. You've broken too many cycles. You've survived too much to stop now. So rise with intention, walk with purpose, speak with conviction, and most of all, believe deeply, fully, relentlessly that you are here for more, not because someone told you, not because you have something to prove, but because you know. Because it's in your blood. It's in your bones. It's in every quiet moment when you hear your heart whisper, don't give up. Keep going. You were made for this. The path is yours. The power is yours. The choice is still yours. There's a voice inside you that keeps asking, what if? What if you stopped holding back? What if you finally gave everything you had? What if you stopped living by limits someone else gave you? That voice isn't doubt. It's potential trying to get your attention. It's the quiet echo of who you could become if you stopped waiting, stopped hesitating, and started living with the fire you were born to carry. Deep down, you already know what you need to do. It's not more information, it's not more motivation, it's action. Consistent, relentless, purpose-driven action. Because life won't meet you halfway if you're standing still. It only responds to movement, your movement, and it rewards those who are willing to step forward, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Comfort zones are silent killers. They lull you into routines, distract you with distractions, and convince you that someday is a real day. But someday doesn't exist. There's only now. And now is where everything begins. Now is where you draw the line and say enough. Enough settling, enough waiting, enough shrinking. You weren't designed to live in neutral. You weren't built to survive. You were built to rise, to create, to impact, to leave your mark. And yet that will never happen if you keep playing small, hoping someone else will notice your greatness before you do. That's not how greatness works. Greatness isn't given, it's claimed. It's carved out in silence, in struggle, in solitude, when no one is watching and nothing is guaranteed. The truth is, no one is going to see your vision the way you do. No one is going to believe in your dream as deeply as you. And they shouldn't, because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. And you have a responsibility, not just to yourself but to the world, to bring it to life. Every time you hold back, you rob the world of the light you were meant to shine. There will be resistance. There will be doubt. There will be days when the weight feels too heavy, when quitting feels easier, when nothing makes sense. Those are the moments that define you. Not the wins, not the applause, but the moments when you decide in the dark to keep going anyway. That's real power, the kind no one can take from you. The mind is a battlefield, and the war is constant. Every thought is a seed, and whatever you water will grow. Feed your fear, and it will spread like wildfire. Feed your faith, and you'll build a fire inside that no storm can extinguish. You get to choose which voice gets louder. You get to decide what story you live in. Stop repeating the narrative that says you're not enough. Stop allowing old wounds to write new chapters. You're not broken, you're becoming. Every scar is proof that you didn't fold. Every bruise is a lesson. Every tear is a step closer to clarity. The pain didn't come to punish you. It came to prepare you. For strength, for wisdom, for elevation, but only if you let it. You can't keep dragging your past into your future and expect anything to change. Let go. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Carrying dead weight only slows you down. Forgive yourself, not because you're weak, but because you're ready to be free. There is nothing noble about staying stuck. There is nothing brave about suffering in silence. Strength is choosing to heal. Power is choosing to rise anyway. You've survived storms that were meant to break you. You've walked through nights that tried to silence you. And yet, here you are, breathing, standing, becoming. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's purpose. That's destiny pulling you forward. Don't ignore it. You were made for more than just waking up, going through the motions, and calling it life. More than just hiding behind excuses and burying your brilliance. You are here to disrupt, to ignite, to transform. And it begins when you stop asking for permission and start living with conviction. Your time is now. Your story is still being written, and you are the one holding the pen. So write something bold, write something real, write something so powerful that when people read your life, they feel their own potential start to rise. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more playing small. The choice is still yours, and everything you've ever wanted is waiting on the other side of your decision to believe in it. Believe in you. Believe in the power within you to create, to overcome, to rise. Because the moment you do, you become unstoppable. The moment you decide to believe in yourself, fully, unapologetically, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your focus sharpens, your steps become deliberate. You stop waiting for life to happen and start making it happen. And no, it won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Because self-belief is not just a feeling, it's a force that moves mountains, opens doors and breaks barriers that once felt permanent. You were not born to blend in. You were not placed on this earth to play small. The fire in your heart, the vision in your mind, the dreams that won't let you sleep at night, they're not random. They are the blueprint of your becoming. And you don't need permission to start building. You just need the courage to begin. Everything you want is already within you, but that version of you, the strongest, most confident, most unstoppable version, only comes alive through action, through commitment, through relentless pursuit. You don't find greatness by standing still. You find it by moving, by growing, by doing the hard things when it would be easier to walk away. Discipline is love for your future self. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you are investing in the person you're becoming. You are telling yourself, I believe in where I'm going more than I fear what's in front of me. And that mindset changes everything. It transforms pressure into power. It turns setbacks into setups. It teaches you to see failure not as a reason to quit, but as a tool to evolve. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be brave enough to take the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Progress is made in the quiet, unseen moments when no one is cheering and everything feels uncertain. That's where character is built. That's where inner strength is forged. The world is full of noise, opinions, distractions, doubt. But you must learn to listen deeper, to the voice inside that says, keep going. The one that whispers, there's more in you. Because that voice is your truth. And when you trust it, when you follow it, you start to realize just how powerful you've always been. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your outcome. You have the power to reframe your thoughts, to rewrite your story, to rebuild from any place you've been broken. The question is, will you use that power? Life will test you. It will stretch you. It will put you in rooms that force you to grow. But don't curse the pressure. It's shaping you. Diamonds are not made in silence. Steel is not forged in comfort. And your future will not be created in fear. It will be born from courage, from discipline, from vision. No more waiting to be chosen. No more hoping for validation. You were chosen the day you were born. You were validated the moment you survived everything that tried to break you. You are still here, still standing. And that means your purpose is still alive. So stop holding back, stop shrinking. Stop watering yourself down to make others comfortable. Your potential is not a threat, it's a gift. And it's time to own it, fully, fearlessly, boldly. Let them think you're too much. Let them misunderstand you, let them doubt. Their opinions are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to your dream, to your vision, to the future you're building. With every decision, every action, every moment you choose not to give up. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are not the limitations others have tried to place on you. You are the product of your persistence, the result of your resilience. You are everything they said you'd never be, and more. Stand in that truth. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more real ones. More people who are willing to rise, to fall, to rise again. More people who speak with conviction, move with intention, and live with fire in their eyes. That's what greatness looks like. That's what leadership feels like. That's who you are. Don't wait for a sign. You are the sign. You are the proof that strength is born through struggle. That purpose is found through pain. That nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a heart that's committed. So commit to your path, to your growth, to the version of you that's been buried under fear and doubt for far too long. Your life is not on pause. Your dreams are not on hold. Everything you want is waiting on the other side of your decision to become. This is your moment. Decide who you are. Decide who you will no longer be. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. And then walk forward, head high, heart full, purpose blazing. The choice is still yours. Every time you decide not to quit, not to cave in, not to let fear dictate your next move, you strengthen your identity. And identity is everything. Because we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our habits. And those habits are built on what we believe about who we are. You want a new life? It starts with building a new identity. One decision at a time. One commitment at a time. One day at a time. Until belief becomes unshakable. Until your name becomes synonymous with discipline, grit, and fire. When you truly decide who you are, no hesitation, no apology, the world starts to shift, not because the world is different, but because you are. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop letting your emotions run the show. You stop chasing things that don't align with the future you're building. That's real freedom. When you no longer need external permission to live internally aligned, But make no mistake, freedom isn't given. It's earned through sacrifice, through persistence, through doing the right thing even when it's the hardest thing, through waking up with intention and going to bed with integrity. You build a life of meaning by choosing principles over comfort, purpose over ease, truth over convenience. And the truth is this: no one is coming to rescue you. No one is coming to hand you the life you dream about. That life is yours to claim, to build, to fight for. You were never meant to be saved. You were meant to rise, on your own terms, in your own way, with your own power. So stop looking for the shortcut. Stop searching for someone else's map. You already have what you need. You just have to stop doubting it. Your clarity will come through action, not overthinking. Confidence will come through doing, not waiting. Every time you take another step, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove you are trustworthy. And trust in yourself, that's the foundation of all greatness. Most people never fail because of lack of talent. They fail because they lack belief. They lack consistency. They lack the hunger to keep going when things stop being exciting and start getting real. But you're different. You feel that pull, that drive, that unexplainable force that refuses to let you settle. Don't ignore it. That voice that says, you're made for more. It's right. That whisper that urges you to keep pushing, even when the world tells you to slow down. That's your edge. That's your advantage. That's the part of you that will separate you from everyone who gave up too soon. Let others stay comfortable. Let them chase easy wins and surface-level praise. You're not here for that. You're here to build something deeper, something lasting. You're here to create impact, to leave a legacy, to show the world what happens when someone stops running from the fire and learns to become it. And yes, there will be setbacks. There will be days when the mirror reflects exhaustion instead of progress. But pain doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're forming. Discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Resistance is not the enemy. It's the invitation to rise. So lean into it. Let it refine you. Let it strip away who you're not so you can become who you are. Let every challenge sharpen your vision. Let every rejection fuel your focus. Let every delay deepen your discipline. Because pressure is what turns potential into power. And power, once claimed, can never be taken from you. That's what this moment is about. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present, focused, relentless. It's about waking up each day and asking yourself, what would the strongest version of me do today? And then doing exactly that. Not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, but now. Every time. Especially when no one's watching. Because when you live like that, success isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You are the storm they didn't see coming. You are the breakthrough they said was impossible. You are the exception to every rule, and all of it begins, not with talent, not with luck, but with a decision, a choice to own your life with ruthless clarity and unshakable conviction. This is the path. This is the process. This is the price. But the reward? A life of impact, a heart on fire, a soul that knows it gave everything it had, and more. So keep showing up. Keep standing tall. Keep choosing growth, because the world doesn't need more people chasing comfort. It needs more people like you, on fire with purpose, grounded in discipline, and bold enough to become everything they were meant to be. The choice is still yours. You've come too far to play small now. Too much has been endured. Too many moments conquered. Too many scars earned in silence for you to shrink back into the shadows. This is the time to step forward, to step into the identity you've been crafting in the dark, the one forged in self-doubt, hammered into shape by disappointment, but polished by perseverance. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards proof, and you prove yourself by how you show up not once but every single day. Let others talk. Let them gossip, doubt, laugh, or judge. That's their choice. Yours is to rise, to stay focused, to keep building while they sleep, to keep learning while they waste time. You don't need their applause to feel your worth. You don't need their validation to move forward. The mission is bigger than their opinions. The vision is louder than the noise. You are here to execute, to evolve, to become undeniable, not through words, but through the life you build brick by brick, action by action. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. It frees you from regret, from inconsistency, from the anxiety of wasted time. When you operate from discipline, you don't need to chase motivation. You become it. You lead yourself. You take the wheel. And that is where true confidence is born, not from hype or external success, but from knowing deep down that you can trust yourself to follow through. Every decision you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. So choose wisely. Choose the workout over the excuse. Choose the early morning over the easy out. Choose to speak with intention, act with purpose, live with presence. Each time you do, you get closer, not just to your goals, but to the version of you that you've always known was possible.